Good morning, good afternoon, and konbanwa, wherever you are in the world. I'm the idol to give you the wings to fly, Cyber Angel, the Kamishiro of Lucid Multimedia at your service. Oh my gosh. Wow, it really has been so long since, 3 weeks. So, I guess both, it's been a while and not so long. But wow, I didn't realize how much I missed saying that. But welcome in, everyone! How are you all? Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you, Cube. Oh my goodness, for the 50 gifted memberships. Goodness gracious, I was getting everything set up and I was like, whoa! Oh my god, thank you. I need to refresh my chat. You all... I was gonna say, it's been so long since I've streamed. I forgot to do that, but I also forgot to do that back when I was still, streaming regularly. So, some things never change, I guess. Thank you for the friendly reminder. Let me go ahead and do that. And go. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Who are you? You seem familiar somehow. Oh my gosh. Turns out I'm just a copy of Rita. Have you ever... Sorry, ADHD tangent. But have you guys seen... I think it's a CGP Grey video where they're talking about, transporters? And they were talking about how, Well, no. Was it specifically about, the whole Theseus ship thing? I think they were specifically talking about the transporters in Star Trek. They were saying, how do you know that after you're transported, you're still you? What if they just, they completely disassembled you? You died at the first transporter, and they just assembled a totally new being that has, the same chemical makeup as you, and, transplanted your memories into you at the second transporter. I don't know why I thought about that. Oh, we were talking about, you, who are you? You seem so familiar somehow. I don't know why that came up to mind. Oh my gosh, if you like sci-fi and you're wondering about various sci-fi, I guess topics, I would highly suggest that video. I missed your positive streams. Wow, I missed streaming. Oh my gosh, there's so much to catch up on. I don't have an outline or anything, so you all can ask away. I guess there's a couple of things I wanted to touch upon, but I'll be sure to, hopefully, I'll be sure to touch on those things by the end of stream. Yeah. That's the same convo at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles X about the conduit. Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Now we're gonna start a whole conversation about, sci-fi, philosophy. Goodness. I know, I feel like that's often how my streams go. We're, playing a game or, having a silly conversation, and then we got all serious, all philosophical and all that jazz. Oh my gosh. Yeah, oh my gosh. So, let's talk about hiatus. Yeah, so... very much needed time to focus on some stuff. Oh my gosh, I have such amazing news for you all. But first, I'll just talk a little bit about why I went on a hiatus. I basically wrote about it in my letter. I made sure to decorate it all nice. I didn't want it to be white background, black text. I was how can I make this very obvious that this is not a graduation or anything? So I was at the top I'll put I'll be back or something like that. But yeah, you know me, I've been studying, and also I had idle side job, and I also had content work on top of that, and I'm very hardworking, I guess, always busy, so I'm used to being very busy, but at some point I was I need to slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people think about taking breaks as what's the verbiage I'm looking for? A lot of folks think of taking breaks as a reactive measure, whereas I feel breaks can be very effective as a preventative measure. You know what I mean? I think sometimes folks might take breaks when they're already burnt out, And I was I can recognize that if I continue, pushing myself in this regard, then I will burn out. You know what I mean? So I recognize that, I checked in with myself and I was like, I don't want to get to the point where I'm burnt out. So I took a hiatus so I could finish up Idle Side Job and get caught up on, my studies and, planning some content work, because I also, I was able to catch up on all my organizational stuff for all of my Donathon, my 5-year anniversary Donathon milestone. So excited to finally jump onto those recordings. But yeah, and now I'm a fun surprise. I think if you read my letter, you probably know this as well. I am now currently just a student and a streamer. I've been working really hard to get to the point where I can stop doing Idle Side Job, so I can just focus on my music and my content and my studies. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I genuinely do have you all to thank for supporting my content. And yeah, but that's not the end of the good news. So one of the really exciting things that I want to share with you all, good news, of course, kind of in relation to me being a student. So the past year, you all know I have been taking music classes, not just like voice, but also I've been taking like sight singing and music theory. I've also been practicing piano too. And yeah, basically for the past year, I've been working on, getting those experiences and credits and things like that. And I've also been applying to various music therapy programs. I think in the past 5 years of doing content and making music, I've thought about this a lot. This was sort of a conversation I've been having with myself for quite a while. Like, how do I continue to grow my skills and also continue to apply my love for music and my skills in music to not just my content, right? But also just like, what are more ways I can continue to, I don't know, do what I can to help, make a world that I want to see. Does that make sense? I didn't plan this beforehand. Sometimes when it comes to like big announcements or whatever, I'll bullet point things. But now this is like true, unfiltered Rita rambling. But yeah, I think that's been a huge, I don't want to say burden, weight, responsibility. In addition to all the other things I've been worried about this past year, I've been looking into and applying to different music therapy programs. And I am so excited to share that I was able to successfully get into a music therapy program, and I'll be doing that in the fall. So, yay! It's definitely going to be, a very exciting journey. I'm sure it'll be a very difficult journey. It'll be a journey that I'll be on for the next few years, but I genuinely and truly believe that a lot of the learnings that I will be having in my music therapy program will apply to the stuff that I do online and vice versa. In fact, my VTubing experiences, I put up my resume, and that got me into the program. So I thought that was pretty cool. What is a music therapy program? So specifically like education, like a degree. But yeah, if you haven't heard about music therapy, gosh, wow. So I've kind of just been working on my music prerequisites so far, but music therapy specifically is different from the use of music in like therapeutic ways. But it's going to be a combination of like therapeutic expertise alongside music. And there's so many different ways that music can be applied, whether it's for mental health, whether it's in like child or adolescent development, hospice care, things like that. There's so many methods for music therapy as well. It's not just like listening, like receptive music therapy. but it's also improvisation, composition, recreating, and I'm really excited to learn about how I can, I don't know, merge these two passions of mine, health and wellness and mental health with music. So, yeah. Yeah. So I'm very excited. And again, like, I'm still, very new to, music. And I say that as I've been, making music like my whole life. But I feel like even in the past year of just studying like music theory and music prerequisites and things like that, like sight singing, I feel like there's still so much left I have to learn about music and the world and the people in it and what my place is in, I don't know, in this world. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Panama, in terms of what you had just mentioned, helping folks with learning to speak. Yeah, neurological music therapy is also a really big field within music therapy as well, specifically folks maybe who have been in accidents, like you mentioned, who maybe have like aphasia or maybe have like dyspraxia. The idea that our brains can, form new neural connections. I guess the concept neuroplasticity is the phrase specifically. But yeah, using music as a means to help aid in like creating new neural pathways. I think it's a really awesome use of music therapy. But yeah, I haven't decided exactly how I will be using music therapy in the future. I guess like in a clinical sense. But I'm excited to explore the different ways I can use music to, help the folks around me, I guess. So excited to learn more and excited to see where I'll fit in. And excited to see how I can, help in general. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of crossover with other therapies as well. Yeah. Yeah, yes. Yeah, so there's such a wide breadth of application. Because of course you can get very like sciencey and technical with things like, neurological music therapy. But in terms of like hospice care, for example, there's a lot of understanding music in a spiritual sense, in a very personal sense. And being able to connect with an individual and their unique experiences and perspectives on music just seems like such an exciting prospect. Music is such a science and an art, and I think it shows in a lot of the applications of music therapy. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited for this journey. Gosh, yeah, it's gonna be a whole journey. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm very excited. It does sound very nice, right? Goodness. So, I just want to thank you all. I feel like this journey and being a VTuber has been a very critical part of, just me in general and me trying to, I don't know, continue to find my place in this world and my role in this world, and yeah. I'm very excited. Oh my gosh, I was messaging Riku this morning and I like almost cried. Good cry, goodness gracious. But yeah, I'm very excited. So, yeah. I thank you, you thank me, we all thank each other. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really want to be able to give back, not just to like my community, like IRL, but also to my online communities, to you all as well for, showing your support. And yeah, so. Oh gosh. Almost? You sure about that? Wait, what did I say almost to? I already forgot. Oh gosh. But yeah, I was just reflecting back on my my journey past 5 years. And And even before that, almost cried. Yeah, I did tear up. So I guess you could consider that actually crying. But considering the full scale of my tears, tearing up a little bit is definitely on the lighter end of my full crying spectrum. But yeah, back to me reflecting on not just my VTubing journey, but also my journey with music. Even before that, I've always appreciated music, and it's always had such a significant part in my life, and I've always wanted to have ways to continue having music in my life, but also how I can, I don't know, make a difference, I guess, in this world. And through VTubing, I've been able to sort of understand that I do have the opportunity and the chance to continue pursuing my love for music, but also be able to apply it in many ways. So, being able to write music that is meaningful to you all and has made an impact on you all has really shown me that, wow, I really can make a difference and continue to make music in ways that are impactful to other people. And I was able to explore all the possibilities and be able to create, a continuing path in this journey in order to keep doing so. So, very excited. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I even put it in, my application that I was, since VTubing and making content has been such a big part of me, being able to share my music and learn about music and improve my music, I was like, I can't stop doing VTubing. I love doing it, and it's such a huge part of my music learning. And yeah, so I really want to keep making content and talking about my favorite games and talking about music and making music. And yeah, gosh, I feel like I've just renewed, because I've been able to focus on, my music studies, the prerequisite music studies I've been talking about, just theory and psychology and things like that. And gosh, I feel like my perspective on and relationship with music has definitely been renewed. Yeah, I feel like especially as my music career started to get really serious in my VTubing, I feel like I think a lot of other musicians or even creatives can relate to this, but I feel like you can kind of get lost in this idea of what is good music, oh gosh, it has to be technically perfect and amazing. And while I think there's definitely a place for that, what's important about music is that it's you and it's your genuine expression, and that you're able to express yourself in ways that are authentic and genuine. And I feel like in my hiatus, I've been able to really focus on that and remind myself of that. So, wow, I feel great. Oh my gosh. And I feel like I've really been able to see that impact and that mindset on my music learning. I feel like my piano skills and even my guitar skills, I feel like I don't hit a slump. I almost said stump, like a tree stump. Slump. I don't hit a wall so much when I get in my own head, oh, it has to be perfect. Oh, it has to be this or that. So yeah, it's been really helpful in my learning. So yeah. But yeah, that's I guess the gist of what I wanted to share about my hiatus and why I did it. And yeah, I guess friendly reminder to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. The world will wait. It's your journey. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. That's all fantastic to hear. Thank you. I'm really glad you all think so. Oh gosh, when I was doing my, here's something Xenoblade related for you all, because you all know me. I can't go a few seconds without talking about Xenoblade. But, I was doing a reading about, music and ritual and how different cultures use music across various cultural events, whether it's like, raising kiddos and, teaching them about the world and soothing them with lullabies. And then, on the opposite end, like using music to either celebrate or mourn those who have passed. And I was reading that article and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to talk about Xenoblade. Because you know how like they have the off-seeing, and I was like, what if I did a video essay about like, I wrote it down somewhere. Let me find it so I can tell you all my video idea. Exactly. Mr. Ray just says, make it first. Oh, sorry. Wait. Sorry, I have to scroll my Twitch chat scroll to go back. Make it first. Make it perfect later. Exactly. God. Okay. I'm distracted. I was gonna get the idea that I had. Okay. I wrote down, I literally made a Google Doc and I just titled it. It's empty. It just says notes. But the title of the doc is The Diegetic Role of Music in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Obviously the title needs some work, but it's like understanding the role of music in ritual through Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Anyway. Oh my gosh, I know anything Xenoblade related makes me so hyped too. Speaking of Xenoblade! Did you guys see the Nintendo Direct? Oh my gosh! I remember the day that it happened. Oh, I had a work event. I was like literally getting ready to go to like this work event. I was like, no! I literally wanted to. So I was like, in the short amount of time I had, I like immediately messaged the Xeno buddies. I was like, what do we think about the new Xenoblade? So excited. They only had a Japanese dub in a trailer. Like there was no English dub yet. So I'm like, maybe I can hold out hope for voicing. But the thing is, I don't think they have Nopon in the new Xenoblade Genesis. I think they have like a Nopon equivalent. But I was like, oh, maybe I still have a chance in voicing whatever Nopon equivalent creature they have. Oh my gosh, if anyone knows anyone working with the studio that's going to be responsible for the English dub, let them know. I'm available. Oh my gosh, I got so excited about Xenoblade, I forgot I was gonna put a, Manetown was like, you should do like a Donothon. Not a Donothon. I'm still working on the milestones for a Donothon. She was like, you should put a Dono bar or something on screen so people remember that you're doing music school and you're working towards music school, which I thought was a good idea because I often forget to talk about things. So let me put this here. I was like, I should probably just have this on so I don't forget to talk about music school, but yeah. Remember, no obligation whatsoever, okay? If you are not, if you do not have the means to do so safely and responsibly, please do not be reckless with your money, but there's definitely many ways to show support, okay? But if you feel inclined to, if you feel like that's a way you want to show your support, I'm just always working towards music school costs. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I've been able to explore a bunch of like new instruments and things like that in my learnings, and there's so many cool instruments out there. I really want to. First of all, I ended up getting myself measured for a better sized fit guitar. Because the one I have right now, I was like, it's already pretty small, I think, but it's still pretty big. So I went and got sized, and the lady I was talking to was like, oh, maybe you should consider getting a GS Mini, I think is what she said. Taylor Guitars, GS Mini. And I was like, okay. think about that. But I also really want to get a steel tongue drum. Those are beautiful. Very relaxing. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you've ever heard of a monochord. There's specifically like a Lord of the Rings soundtrack that features it, but such relaxing music, such relaxing sounds. Like, goodness gracious. I also want a cajon. I want a cajon as well. I think it's really cool. But anyway, music learning aside, can you tell how excited I am about learning about music more? Goodness. No, I haven't tried out the Xenoblade cart yet. Gosh. I've been sort of like... In my hiatus, I obviously haven't been able to play any of the games that I'm streaming. But I've been really trying to lock in and like... focusing on my studies and making sure I don't burn out and things like that. So the only game I really ended up playing over the hiatus is Let's School. I did a members stream about it. Wow, yeah. Whenever I had free time, I would just be playing Let's School. I was like, I need to have a game that's just like, I don't know, like. I don't want to say low brain energy because there's a lot of thinking that goes into planning out like the classes and where the classrooms will go in that school. But like it's very like the emotional stakes are very low. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the media I engage with is just very like high emotion. Not saying that Xenoblade Kart is very high emotion, but the Xenoblade franchise in general elicits a lot of emotions from me. So... I know, T! It's literally such a great time to be alive. There's so many... I remember finishing that direct and I was like, man, this is a great era to be a gamer. For sure. Yeah. I'm so excited. Oh, you know what? That's something I need to do this week. I need to play Xenoblade. We are going to be playing Xenogears. I'm really excited about that. Gosh, I need to like test the CD, the CD on my PlayStation again, see if it works. I'm pretty certain I tried it before and it seemed to work, but I should probably check it again just in case. You never know what's changed while it's just sitting there. Oh my gosh. Let's see. You just randomly thought of your old guitar while you had while you were a teen. You know where it is, but it's broken beyond repair. No! I don't know if you all knew this, but I have a ukulele. You all have heard Luke the Uke occasionally. Luke the Uke has like a huge crack on the back of the neck, like where the neck connects with the body of the ukulele, because my sibling accidentally stepped on it when I was younger. But anyway, I got to try out a ukulele that had like a microphone jack, like an audio jack, so you can hook it up to an amp. I thought that was so cool. I haven't seen that before. You need a funding stream for Luke? Well, the thing is, Luke the Uke works just fine, aside from having a large crack in the neck. But there's so many other instruments I need to like focus on or I want to explore. So yeah, it's called character. For sure. Yeah. I don't think it affects Luke's sound at all. But I will consider getting a new karaoke as my studies in music therapy get more intense, I guess. Oh my gosh. Get surgery for Luke the Uke. Gosh, because I definitely won't get rid of Luke the Uke. I have so many, like, memories with Luke the Uke. But I might consider getting, like, a ukulele with, the one that I saw with the audio jack. That was pretty cool. What other cool... Oh my gosh, I got to try out a theremin. It was so cool. Do you guys know what a theremin is? I honestly don't know how to explain it. But basically, like, you can play... You basically, it's like a radio almost. It's like a radio with like an antenna, and how close your hand is to the antenna influences like the pitch and the volume of the radio, like, I guess. Oh my gosh. Yeah, theremins! Goodness gracious. It's so cool. I tried it out and I was like, I made all sorts of like spooky noises. Yeah, it's like sci-fi sounding. I was like, so cool. So cool. So cool. Yeah, like UFO noises. It was like sci-fi-y, spooky, things like that. Yeah. I'm so excited to be playing Xenogears. Finally. Yeah. I don't know how we got to ukulele from Xenogears. I mean, when the ADHD is ADHDing. Oh my gosh. Now I don't know which conversation I want to continue. The one about musical instruments or the one about Xenoblade? Gosh. It's amazing how certain types of instruments can be associated with different types of moods and settings. Oh my gosh. I also got to play with, what was it called? A bass bar. Oh, it was so cool. I would literally just sit there and like, boom, boom. Basically, it was like, you know, like a xylophone. It was basically like one bar off of a xylophone, but huge. So it was like one note, like it was like a C. And it was just like a huge, deep bass note. And it just goes boom, boom. And like, oh, there's something so like, gosh, mesmerizing about it. I don't know. In like a relaxing sense, if you will. Gosh. Here's a prompt. Imagine you have an instrument to represent each of your favorite games. What's the result? The thing is, though, that my answer to that is all of the like significant instruments for the related for the games, I guess. The instruments that are related to the games. So, like for example, The Legend of Zelda, I think of like ocarina, or like Xenoblade, I'll think of like flute. So I'd have to think about one maybe, because like Omori, I think of like piano or violin. But maybe I'd have to think more about other games that maybe don't have a significant instrument associated with them. Yeah. Gosh. Oh gosh. Hi, back. I am me. I'm back. Hi, back. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. Were you all surprised? It was our total subject change. Were you all surprised about Wonderland Elation? So I want to tell you all the story behind Wonderland Elation. So after Method, because that was 2024, Riku and I should be specific when I say we. Riku and I were like, oh, like 2025, 2026, we were kind of busy with our other projects, and that includes like Hoyo-related projects. But also we were kind of like, oh, we already did Multiverse Vistas, you know, let's just see what other folks are up to. And it's been fun sort of keeping up with, you know, all the cool submissions that come up out of, you know, Multiverse Vistas. And this year we were kind of like, oh, I'm itching to do Multiverse Vistas again. But for the longest time, we're like, oh, do I have time? Oh, you know, I don't think we'll be able to do it. You know, this project came up, this work thing came up, what have you. And at some point in my hiatus, and remember this hiatus was like, started 3 weeks ago. The deadline for Multiverse Vistas was like a few days ago, right? It was like over, yeah, it was, maybe like less than a week, maybe half a week ago. Anyway, we were kind of just like, you know what? Maybe we should just like start writing something, and then if we don't make it in time for multiverse Vistas, then we don't, right? And we were just kind of like, let's just come up with an idea and not stress so much about the details and just see what happens. But given the time crunch, we decided like, oh, we're so close, might as well, you know, turn it in. At that point, we definitely had a lot of stress regarding like editing and things like that. But for the most part, for the most of the musical process, it was just like, write down whatever comes and like, don't worry so much about getting it perfect. You know what I mean? And and this is also part of the conversation I was having about how I feel like over the hiatus I was really able to renew my perspective of music and my relationship with music. But yeah, I've kind of just been able to reflect on like how I make music and how I improvise and how I write music. And I was just like, whatever comes to mind is what I'll put down. And obviously I did a lot of brainstorming and what sort of message I wanted to put out there, but I wasn't so self-critical, I guess, about things being like technically perfect and things like that. I just recorded and I just got into it, and what came out was, such a really great performance, and I genuinely didn't, worry about everything being super perfect. And I think there's value in making music in that way. Because again, I think there's lots of value in technical mastery, of course, but I don't think it should come at a cost of, losing your connection, your emotional connection to music, I guess. So, yeah, we sped ran that. We were surprised at how quickly it came around. And just so proud of the work that we got to do together. And it was just a fun exercise in making music, And that's what Multiverse Vistas is about too, Not only celebrating your love for this franchise, this game, this story, but also having fun making music and seeing what things you can do and improving your craft and seeing what other folks are up to, and just such a fun time. So I guess I certainly did miss being in the sort of like the Multiverse Vista cycle and being a part of it all. So it was fun too. Since I just came back, I haven't gotten the chance to get caught up on all of the entries yet. So I'll need to do that. I feel so behind in that regard. There's so many cool musics I want to listen to. But yeah. It's a great song. Thank you. It was fun writing another villain song again. Because the only other like villain song, I guess, if you would consider, because Sunday's song was more so less a villain song, but it was more like an exploration on like, I guess it didn't feel, because with Liberame, you also got to hear about from Robin's perspective, not just Sunday. So I wouldn't consider that like a full villainy song like Method or Wonderland Elation. So I kind of went back to a similar vibe for Method, and I was like, how do I want to tell a villain song but also have it act as a cautionary tale? Because that's a lot of the story of Plan Arcadia sort of acts as a cautionary tale towards socialism or having an unhealthy relationship with, the internet or social media, or an unhealthy way of coping with the sadness or stress of life. So I wanted to include that in this villainy song. So you have Sparksy, saying all her villainy stuff, but you also can recognize that, wow, the things that she's saying is not great. You know what I mean? Like, oh gosh, I guess I really am like scrolling my life away. And things like that. Even though it's almost like as if she is a villain, so her saying it and her inviting you to do these things, these bad things, is what makes her a villain. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm glad you thought it was a great song. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I was considering like maybe I should start streaming Xenoblade again, even though I finished the series. But there are so many games on my rotating list now. Like even just making this schedule for this week. Oh gosh, it's such a packed schedule. I wanted to do a fun little packed schedule for at least the first week that I'm back. But yeah, I couldn't even fit Trails in there, so we're going to do Trails next week. Couldn't fit like Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, so that's going to have to be next week too. I also wanted to start playing Persona again. Because with all the Persona announcements, I want to get back and trying to finish Persona 5. That was so long ago. Yeah, there's so many, so many things to catch up on, you know? Yeah. But if villain YQ, that's how she gets ya. That's how she gets ya. Don't let console R take control. Yeah, I'm not gonna let console R convince me to have an insanely packed schedule all the time. Oh my gosh, yes, so I saw the thumbnail for this Shinez Naya trailer. I need to check it out still. I'm telling you, I've been so offline the past 3 weeks. I gotta get caught up. Am I considering streaming Fortune's Weave? Yes, I am! That's a great question! Yes. Oh my gosh. You're watching my Xenoblade 1 playthrough and it's so much fun. I want to play more Xenoblade. I literally have like 2 or 3 tiles left of my Frontier nav that I still need to get. It's that Telethia. One of them is the Telethia. You know what I'm talking about. But I need to go back and finish. I want to get my... I'll pick it up every once in a while and I'll get like 1 tile and then I'm like, okay, cool. Until next time. And then I'm so close. I'm pretty sure if I remember. Oh my gosh. Will I be streaming Xenoblade Genesis Day 1? I absolutely will be streaming Xenoblade Genesis Day 1. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, the Trails remake is gonna be around the corner. Yeah. Busy time for RPGs. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You finished Trails SC during my hiatus, such a peak game. I'm so excited! I think at first, like the first week of hiatus, I was like, oh my gosh. I want to know what happens in these games. And now that we're getting back into the swing of things, I'm like, I just want it to be tomorrow so I can play Deltarune. Oh my gosh, I sent a picture to, who was it? I sent a picture to MB about, I screenshotted all of the muted words I have on Twitter right now, and it's literally just like Deltarune Chapter 5, Toby Fox, Deltarune Chapter 5 spoilers, Deltarune Chapter 5, like everything. I was like, I'm not taking any chances. Not until I stream Deltarune. So I was like, I did go back and oh my gosh, I love Deltarune. The last time I was in my Deltarune brain rot era, I was like watching a million Deltarune video essays. But I saved Deltarune brain rot. But you know, I was watching video essays while I was cleaning and things like that and getting some other work done. So wasn't really brain rot if I just I'm joking. But I was rewatching some old video essays. There's a video that I put in my watch later that's like everything you need to remember about Deltarune for Chapter 5. So I want to watch that maybe tonight so I can kind of refresh myself. But there was one video essay, so I'd watched this before, and I was like, I need to watch this again because I need to like remember the details. It's specifically like the roots theory. Do you guys know about that? The Deltarune roots theory. I'm telling you, I'm like really into. I do not like seeing spoilers for things, but I do like seeing what people theorize. Because I've been seeing people's theories about Deltarune, like Chapter 5, for a long time. So it's like, the chapter wasn't out yet, so you can't really spoil it. So I was seeing everyone's theories, and then the trailer came out, and so people were theorizing about the trailer. And again, you know, generally I like to avoid trailers because sometimes trailers for games reveal so much more about the game than you would like. But I was like, it's a chapter trailer, you know? That's not the entire game. So I was like, I want to see what people are theorizing. And some of the theories are really good. And There are some that I'm like really keeping tabs on. Like in my head, I'm just like, okay, I gotta keep that. I want to see if this theory is, comes true. So, you need to play ahead of me so you can watch along. Yes, yeah, of course. If you don't want my playthrough to spoil it, of course. Yeah. I honestly want to replay the Xenoblade series before Genesis comes out. Same! I just finished Xenoblade though, so I'm gonna give some other games a chance before I bring Xenoblade back into the mix, I think. Yeah. Oh my gosh, seeing stuff for Kingdom Hearts 4. Wow. Oh my gosh. I think at that point I was like, wow. All of this stuff, it really is like a golden era for RPGs right now. Speaking of RPGs, one of my friends was telling me the other day about something called, it was a game. It was like a life sim game. I think it was called Fable. It wasn't a trailer. It was like a game demo. Looked really cool. Speaking of life sims, I also want to play Paralives. I really want to get that game. But again, I already have so many other games. So I want to focus on those. Yeah. You didn't really get anything for Kingdom Hearts 4. All we know is there is a Kingdom Hearts 4. Well, just seeing more stuff about it, I guess. It was really exciting. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I feel like playing Xenosaga will be big for Genesis. Just a feeling, though. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm really excited. Yeah. Me speedrunning Xenoblade Genesis whenever it releases so you can watch Arena streams. Yes, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm probably gonna do my usual thing where I'm only streaming like 2 to 3 hours at a time. I think the first Xenoblade stream might be like a good 5 hours, but I think, again, for me, 2 to 3 hours is a good amount of time, generally speaking, for streaming. Yeah. Any more than 2 or 3 hours, and I'm like, my attention starts to get drawn in different places. Oh my gosh. Iron Claw, thank you so much for celebrating your membership anniversary. Welcome back. Thank Theory. Arena Theory. What is Rita gonna write down in the next PowerPoint? Oh, that's right. I was thinking of maybe doing another PowerPoint night with a Xeno buddy. So let me know if you want to see like a Xenoblade PowerPoint night again, or maybe you want to see Fire Emblem. I don't know. What kind of PowerPoint night you want to see? 24 hours Xenoblade stream? I still want to do a Xenoblade marathon stream. That'd be so cool. That'd be so fun. I would need to figure out a good time for that, though. Maybe before the summer is over. Because I'm going to be busy come fall. Because summer isn't going to be too bad, I think. Yeah. Yeah! Summer! Gonna need to read a fan art of the red string on the conspiracy board wall meme. Literally. Wasn't that the thumbnail for Xenoblade PowerPoint night? Ooh, yeah, a Fire Emblem one would be fun so I guess in preparation for Fortune's Weave. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Morning, Rita, first time here. How are you? Welcome in! Is there a lot of new folks out there? Welcome in! How'd you find me? It's always really fun to see the different ways in which people come across my channel. Like, I still, like, just off the top of the dome, like, I remember people being like, oh, I found you through, like, obviously Xenoblade is the more recent one, but like Deltarune or like Mass Effect or something like that. It's so fun seeing, what people, I guess, associate me with. Gosh. But yeah, welcome in. Welcome. We're just talking about being back from hiatus. Yeah, if there's anything you all want to know, any questions about, what I've been up to or what I'm gonna be up to. Oh my gosh, random tangent that came up during my hiatus. I was asked, I think I was like part of an icebreaker or something. Yeah, I was asked as a part of an icebreaker, what is your age in dog years? Okay? And so for those who don't know, dogs don't live as long as humans, of course. So when we talk about dog years, you say, oh, my dog is like, I don't know, 3 years old, right? But because they have a shorter lifespan, that means something differently, right? So if somebody's not familiar with how dog ages work, to make it make sense for them, you take a dog age, right? And then you put it on a human scale, right? Like, you would multiply that number by, 7? And then you give your age. Like, my dog is 3 in dog years, but in human years, that's 3 times 7, 21, right? 21 in human years. If they were a human, they'd be 21. So with that in mind, I'm thinking of the equation, right? D being dog years, H being human years. D times 7 equals H, right? So you plug your age in H, right, human years. Then you divide both sides of the equation to get D equals blank, right? Your age in dog years. So I was like, okay, my age in dog years is, and I did that formula, right, to get my age in dog years. My age divided by 7. But everyone else multiplied their age by 7. And I was like, huh? And everyone was like, oh, silly Rita. Oh, it's okay. Like, we all have funky ways of thinking. Not everyone's good at math. And I was like, well, if you think about it, both mathematically and practically speaking, I don't think it's unreasonable to put your age, your human age, on a dog age scale. Right? Like, I was like, I think it'd be, I think it's one thing to think of yourself as just a really, really old dog, right? That's one way of thinking of it, sure, if that's, how you want to express it. But the question at hand was, what is your age in dog years? And I was like, I don't think it's entirely unreasonable to think of that question as asking for my age in a dog year scale. Yeah? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tatsukawa. Welcome in. Thank you. Very nice of you. But we were for those who were just coming in, we were talking about if somebody asks you what's your age in dog years, do you divide by 7 or multiply by 7? So I was like, I felt so like, I was just like, what is going on? What is going on? Because I'd like to think I'm good at math. So I was just a little confused. Because again, I was like, I mean, if everyone wants to just think of, themselves as a really, really old dog, then awesome, that's cool. But it just felt a little unfair, to me. I was like, I don't think I'm bad at math, I just think this was how I interpreted it, I guess. Yeah, they're thinking of their age in human years if they were a dog. They're just thinking of themselves as a really, really old dog. Right? To a dog, they'd be like, wow, you're like however many 100 years old or whatever. But in a practical sense, in the way that we put dog ages on a human scale, so that humans can understand more clearly the age of a dog, it just makes sense to go the other way when you're trying to make sense of a human age in a dog's perspective. So I was like, I did not appreciate. I was all haha jokes, so obviously they didn't think I was stupid or anything. But I was like, no, I want to talk about this more. I was like, I think this is a very interesting topic. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I went and talked about it with a bunch of people, and they're like, no, I would probably have done it the same way as you. Exactly. Both are technically correct, right? Like, sure, you can think of yourself as just a really old dog, but also, like, when you think of the question, what is your age in dog years? To me, it implied putting your age in a dog age scale, which I think practically speaking is what most people would think of when it comes to that question. I'm not saying that either or is the correct way of, thinking about it, right? Because maybe we wanted to be silly and think of ourselves as really, really old dogs. I was like, I don't think my perspective is particularly wrong. Oh my gosh. But I just thought about that just now. It's so silly. What else? I feel like another silly thing came up, but I don't know. Anyone else looking forward to Splatoon Raiders? Yes, I am! Oh my gosh. Shiny! I hope you're ready to play some Splatoon Raiders with me. I want to play. Gosh. I've seen, isn't there like a direct coming up for it that's specifically, I'm telling you, during my hiatus, I haven't been keeping up with internet stuff, so I'm like, did that already happen? Isn't there gonna be a Splatoon Raiders directs at some point? Tomorrow! God! Wow. My time scales is like, I guess that's why I had trouble with the dog ears thing. Oh my gosh. It's a whole new game. It's a whole new game. I'm so excited. Speaking of whole new games, this week we're gonna be doing Rhythm Heaven. I'm so excited about that too. Gosh. What do we have this week? Tomorrow is Deltarune. Oh my goodness. So gonna be not normal about that. And then I was thinking maybe a cozy music time. No theme really, but since it's a morning time, I figured maybe we can just chill. Maybe do some cozy tunes, whatever comes up. You know? Yeah. Gosh, I learned about so many really cool music making methods and exercises and things like that, and I want to work on learning more about them. Yeah, so I can, I don't know, utilize them. Yeah. Okay, now my ordering might be a little bit off. And then I think we have Rhythm Heaven after that, yes, on release day. And then Xenogears! And then Fire Emblem, finally. Goodness, I just reused the same thumbnail that I had made and never got to use because I went on hiatus. So, if it looks familiar, that's why. Gosh. I'm excited for Rhythm Heaven. Yeah, I love rhythm games. I think they're so fun. I'm not I'm not a competitive rhythm gamer or anything. I don't do Osu and things like that, ranked Osu and all of that. But I love rhythm games. For sure. What else did I want to talk about? We talked about things that are coming up. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be recording for my Donothon milestones for my 5-year anniversary now. I was gonna have the piano cover for my previous Donathon posted while I was on hiatus, but I think I posted when I was gonna be on my hiatus before I thought of doing a hiatus. Does that make sense? In the week that my hiatus existed, before I knew I was gonna have a hiatus, I was gonna release it then. So I think the hiatus kind of through that whole plan, and so it's ready. It just needs to go up at some point. But with Wonderland Elation coming out, I was like, oh gosh, the timings are so, awkward. So I gotta figure out a new release window for that, I guess. It's ready. It's been ready. It just needs to find the release window. So silly stuff, I guess. But yeah, you all voted on my next vocal cover. And oh gosh, I actually don't know what ended up winning. I put the poll up and no, I did. I remember now. Was it Future Awaits? I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. It's been a while. Yes, it was. Okay. Just double checking. Sometimes you forgore. I forgore. Oh, Edge of Dawn was so close. Oh, So Fern was last. Oh, wow, that's surprising. In the past few times that So Fern has been in the polls, it was always second or something. So close to being first. But no, this time it being last. Wow. Times have changed. SM's reaction. Ah! Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. Yeah. I'm really excited to see Xenogears because yeah, it's the DNA of Xenogears was brought into Xenoblade, like you said. So I'm really excited to see that influence that Xenogears has had on Xenoblade. Yeah. Woohoo! Although, one thing I am not really looking forward to, because I am spoiled by modern gaming conveniences. I already struggled so much with, no autosave in Kingdom Hearts. Remember when my Kingdom Hearts file got corrupted? Goodness. Oh gosh. So yeah, no autosaves. I don't know if these are specific to Xenogears, but I'm just thinking about, gosh. It's like back then, you guys didn't have like, autosave, no auto healing after battles. Is that one? No dialogue log. Oh my goodness. How am I supposed to remember what people were saying? Just kidding. But yeah, I think it'll be okay. Nah, I know that it's coming, so I'm trying to temper my expectations in that regard. Remind you to save, yeah, so that will be the one thing that is allowed. Any other backseating is not allowed. Because in other games, you would backseat someone by saying to save because or I guess it would spoil things that would come ahead because, folks would only say, make sure you save because something big's coming up. But with a game like Xenogears, it's like you constantly have to be saving. So it's like, it's not really a spoiler for anything coming up, I guess. Gosh. Since there are no voices, you'll be reading and acting aloud. Woo! That's right! I mean, there's plenty of other games where I have to do that. I mean, with Deltarune, I do that. So that's gonna be fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe I should just have, like, the little, like, more ordained soldier being like, don't forget to save! Oh, my gosh. Yeah. You should stay hydrated during Xenogears. Real! I should also stay hydrated right now. Water check. So, very excited. I'm like wondering if I should watch anything going into Xenogears. Like, I obviously don't want to spoil anything, but like, there's a lot of like deep conversations to be had, I'm sure. And I like kind of want to put myself in a philosophical mindset. You know what I mean? Like maybe I can watch a video essays about some of like the, I don't know, frameworks, the psychological, not psychological. What's the word that philosophical frameworks that they talk about, or maybe some of like the, I don't know, references that they make, if you will. Yeah. Because they reference, like, biblical literature all throughout the Xeno series they do. But I think it's especially so in Xenogears from what I've heard. So I think it'd be cool if I, like, watched some, like, I don't know, philosophical framework video essays. Are soft lock warnings a form of backseating? In my regard, I essentially want to go and do it like it's my first time playing it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to encounter the same hiccups that any other first timer would come up with. You know what I mean? That's how I like tend to enjoy my gaming experiences. So I don't know. Yeah. What Shiny said. Yeah. You can carry a notepad with you to your next PC and keep a real logbook? You mean like in terms of like what do you mean? Like keeping track of lore and stuff? Oh my gosh. In Xenosaga 1 at one point you couldn't find the location you needed to get to, so you were just wandering around for a whole hour. Oh man. Gosh. Have I watched the Amazing Digital Circus finale? I'm not familiar with that series. I know about it, but I'm not familiar with it. Sorry. Yeah, I only know Pomni. That's it. I only know about Pomni. She's like one of the main characters, maybe? That's all I know. What if she's not even in Amazing Digital Circus? That'd be so embarrassing. Yeah, okay, I was right. I was like, that's all I know about TADC. I know it's also shortened to that. Xenogears isn't just the framework of its spiritual successors, because Takahashi was Nomura's mentor. You can see how it influenced the psychological themes of Kingdom Hearts. Ooh, interesting. Wow. Oh my gosh, yes, the Until Then DLC. Oh my gosh, I remember watching the trailer for it a while back. How could I forget the release date? We gotta add that for, like, maybe next week even. If you haven't seen my Until Then playthrough, oh my gosh. Such a amazing game. If you like emotional storytelling, you gotta watch or play Until Then. Goodness gracious. Oh, so excited. Okay. To write these down. Okay. Because what is it? We need to get Trails on the calendar at some point. We need to get Persona on the calendar again at some point. We need to get Until Then DLC back on. At some point, we need to jump back into Warriors Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. No, well, there's 2 SEA high school games. There's Until Then, and then, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. It was literally one of my inspo games for Heartbeats. I always forget. It's a longer title, so I always get the words mixed up. And A Space for the Unbound. The words space and time are very closely related to me. I mean, space-time, that's a concept, right? I always confuse it with time. Same thing with how Until Then, I often accidentally say Until Dawn. 2 totally different games, though, so... no, To the Moon is a different series, but also an incredibly amazing story as well. Yeah. So, yeah. Gosh. 3 great games. You have what I just said, A Space for the Unbound, and then Until Then, and then the To the Moon series. Oh my gosh, wait, the To the Moon, oh my gosh, the last hour RPG thing. Oh my gosh. Literally MB just reminded me of it the other day. It's the next installation of To the Moon. I forgot if it was they announced the date or the trailer is dropping. Oh yeah, it's the trailer for the last part of the To the Moon series. The last hour of an epic To the Moon RPG. So I need to make sure I can play that when it comes out and remember when it comes out. It was Trails that led me here, so I'd love to see you continue playing it. Oh, that was another thing that I really missed. Oh, so I'm excited to play more. Yeah. Gosh. Oh my gosh, did you guys see the art? Somebody, oh my gosh, on my Twitter. Let me pull up so I have the right threads. Reddits. Oh my gosh. It was Trails fan art. Mwah. Yeah, it was me and Estelle's outfit. This was commissioned by Oishizo, and it was drawn by this is Twitter at Yuzu Kiyochi. That's 2 eyes. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, it's the next installation of To the Moon. I think it's the final bit of To the Moon. The final hour of, the last hour of a To the Moon RPG or something like that. Close enough, right? Yeah, oh my gosh. I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to play Trails so bad, but I didn't fit it in this week's calendar, so it'll have to be next week. Sorry, an extra week. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm silent eating greasy food for dinner. I can't have my oily hands touch my keypad. No worries, no worries. Please enjoy your food. I just had pasta. Yeah. So, gosh, so many exciting games, and I'm so excited to be back to play all of them. Oh my gosh, Ocarina of Time remake. I think I told you all. So, the first Zelda game I got to play was Twilight Princess. That's how I really got into Zelda. But when it comes to Ocarina of Time, I've only ever watched, like, my cousin play Ocarina of Time, or I've watched, like, playthroughs of Ocarina of Time. But I've never really gotten around to playing it myself. So I'm really excited, because it's like, more or less would think I remember most of the major story beats of Ocarina of Time. But, oh my gosh, it'll be fun to experience actually playing the game myself. Because I feel like it's a very different experience between, like, knowing the story through watching it and, you know, actually getting to play it yourself. You know? So, very excited. So many things to look forward to! Yeah, I'm gonna break the laws of time to play all the games, everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah. Gosh, I'm so happy to be back, yeah! I did catch the Nintendo news during my hiatus. Gosh. What have we talked about today already? We talked about Ocarina of Time, we talked about Kingdom Hearts, we talked about a Xenoblade, of course, we talked about Rhythm Heaven, we talked about, oh gosh, there was another one I just talked about, but I forgot, because there's so many things to be talking about right now. Rita MV! I was literally just talking about, I don't want to say speak of the devil and he shall appear, because that's the saying, right? But you're not. Speaking of which, I was talking about To the Moon and Xenoblade. Oh, and Deltarune. I was telling everyone about how it was like, oh, I muted all of as many words as I could related to Deltarune on Twitter, so I could avoid spoilers. Meanwhile, I still I was like looking into the trailer. I was looking into theories based off of the trailer, and some of them are really, really good. But no spoilers of what actually has happened in chapter 5, so we're good. Oh my gosh. I know, I'm so excited for Rhythm Heaven. I really like how there's multiplayer now. Can I ask you to do the secret boss for Deltarune this time? Yeah. Yes, you can. Friend privileges. Yes, you can. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Speak of the devil and he doth show his horns. Is that like is that the actual version of the saying? Funny enough, other languages change devil to all sorts of things like lions. Ooh. What other variations are there of that saying? I always like seeing how like phrases or sayings change across different cultures. Envy, woo, power of friendship, real. There's a few hundred of real versions. I say, you know, what's the real version? Because a lot of I think of the phrase you know how people say blood is thicker than water, but they don't know the full phrase of blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb? Because the original, I don't know if it's original or real or what have you, but the longer version of the saying is actually the opposite of the shortened version that most people tend to think of. So, yes, I did. Oh my gosh, everyone coming in being like, did you see the Xenoblade stuff? Just getting me hyped up again. Yes, oh my gosh. And I'm like reliving the moment that I watched it. I don't even know if I could even like recreate the feeling of seeing that for the first time. That was like a totally like insane experience. The scream that I scrumped when I saw Xenoblade. Oh my gosh. So excited. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. And thank you for celebrating your membership anniversary, Demon Warrior. I saw Riku's been playing Star Fox, so hopefully all you Star Fox fans are enjoying it. Yeah. You think it's a myth? Oh, the saying, the full version of the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. In Portuguese, we say something closer to, do not talk about the devil. If you do, they appear. Ah, that's cool. Different variations of it. The version of the phrase that you know is, blood is thicker than water and it boils quicker too. I've never heard of that. That's so interesting. It's just interesting to see how words and phrases change over time as we find ways to use them in different scenarios. I don't know how to... The evolution of language is very interesting to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You surprisingly avoided most Deltarune spoilers -1. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been really trying to avoid spoilers, so no spoilers, okay? Xenoblade 3 houses? Did I say that? Man, I mix up so many things when it comes to games. We were talking earlier about how sometimes I accidentally say until dawn when I mean until then. Or like, the number of times I kept saying like Shulk Jr. instead of like Nickel. Or even like towards the end of the game, I'm sure. Goodness gracious. Or like me remembering it almost as a time for the Unbound instead of a space for the Unbound. Goodness me, goodness gracious. Everyone has been calling it 3 houses. You know what everyone has also been saying about Xenoblade Genesis? I've been seeing so many people be like, oh, the school setting that you see them in the trailer is gonna like be destroyed by the end of the first chapter. That's gonna be like the inciting event. And I was like, man, we really want the emotional like tragedy to be really ramped up now, don't we? Oh my gosh. But yeah, I've been very offline during my hiatus, so I haven't seen much about the discourse outside of a few things that I've been talking about with the Xeno buddies. Yeah. Revolutionary Girl Utena is what you've heard too. I've watched not all of it, not all of Revolutionary Girl Utena. I should probably finish that. Never got around to finishing it. I think it was just like, I think I ended up watching the episodes too far apart that I was never really able to keep up with it, if that makes sense. You know, if you like play a game too far apart, you kind of forget what happens, so it's hard to continue playing it. I think because Utena is already very abstract and very like campy, and it's like, it's already really hard to interpret in that regard, and so the extra added factor of watching it so far apart, it makes it extra confusing. Gosh, I think I'm only like halfway. Yeah. You refer to Genesis as Persona Blade Emblem. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Oh, speaking of Persona, do you guys want to know something funny? I think I can tell the future. So literally the night before the Persona 6 trailer dropped, okay? I don't keep up with like, I'm not actively in the Persona community as I am extremely active in like the Xenoblade community, right? So the evening before the release of the Persona 6 trailer, so I had no idea it was coming out. I had no idea this was like maybe in the works or in the talks. I was talking to Beef, for those who don't know, that's the nickname for one of my like IRL friends, and I was explaining to her like the aesthetics of Persona because she's really into like graphic design, and so I sent her a video of somebody on YouTube was experimenting with different types of art movements and creating, you know, their own conceptual Persona UIs based off of different art styles. And so I said that to her because, you know, I know she likes graphic design and things like that. And I was like, oh, like, check this out. Like, isn't this so cool? And she was like, oh, yeah, I wish more, like, you know, things had, you know, interesting design or UI or whatever. And I was explaining to her, I was like, oh, yeah, like, I don't know how the conversation got to this point, but I was like, oh, yeah, Persona 5 is, like, red, and Persona 4 is, like, yellow, and Persona 3 is, like, blue. And then, as an offhand joke, I was like, wait till Persona discovers secondary colors. And she was like, haha, that's so funny. And literally the next day, I messaged her the trailer, and I was like, they discovered secondary colors! They discovered green! And I was like, I think I am I prophesized the future of Persona. Oh my gosh. I know. But I don't know. I haven't thought about what I think the theme might be for this game. I'm kind of just open to whatever they decide to make it. Oh my gosh. Yes, so yeah, I have foresight. I have visions of the future. So yeah. To Raxon, who said, do I wield the power of the Monado? Yeah, I just have visions. I just like Shulk, I just went silent and I just saw all the visions. Oh my gosh. Goodness. Oh, they already mentioned the theme? Yeah, again, I've been very offline for the past few weeks, so I might have missed it. The framework is rumors and the occult. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I think there can be a lot said about like rumors and spreading misinformation and how like the propagation of misinformation affects reality, even though the things that might be spread are untrue. I think that's a very interesting aspect. Yeah. You did well. You feeling fine? I am feeling wonderful. And again, I think it's because I decided to take a hiatus as a preventative measure, not a reactive measure. So, I feel great. Never even got the chance to feel burnt out at all. So, you know, did what I needed to do to make sure I, stayed nice and happy and healthy. Yeah. You heard the color for P2 was purple. Oh. But also it's better to read the manga adaptations for the first 2 Persona games because they haven't aged well gameplay-wise. Yeah, I genuinely haven't heard much about the first 2 games. So, yeah. Maybe I'll do that. Persona 2 was kind of like that. Oh, the theme of rumors and the occult. Gosh. That's so interesting. I'm really excited. Yeah, it definitely gave me like a Ghostbusters theme. Yeah. Honestly, like the first 2 games. Maybe that'll become my like off-stream thing. Like with Let's School. I'm really interested in like a couple of other games, but I think they might just end up being my like off-stream games. Like Paralyzed. I mentioned I was interested in that. The other life sim game I was talking about that my friend came up with as well. What was it called? Fable? That looked really cool. I'll look into that more. Yeah. The first Persona is notoriously bad. Persona 2 is, well, not that bad, but it's strange. Interesting. Well, I'm excited to see what that's all about. I'll look into that myself, yeah? Can't wait for your NG Plus playthrough of those. Yes, wait! Oh my gosh! I've been wanting to do... Because ever since I did my NG Plus with Xenoblade 3, and I told you all that was my first ever time doing an NG Plus with any game to begin with. After I did that, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to go and do more NG Plus playthroughs. Specifically for Xenoblade, but... Oh my gosh. I think today I have another assignment I gotta finish up. It's super quick, so I'm not expecting it to be super long. But I've done a lot of homework today, so after stream, I think I'm gonna finish up that last assignment real quickly, like 30 minutes. And then maybe I'll play more Xenoblade X, because that's been on my... I keep wanting to go back to it, but I've been like, after I study all day, I'm like, oh gosh, I wanna do something, I don't know, more simple, I guess. Gosh, and that's why I've been playing Let's School. Yeah, now's the perfect time with the Switch 2 updates, for sure. Let's see. What else? What else do I want to talk about? Is there anything else you all are... We talked about Wonderland Elation, talked about the games that I'm excited for coming up. Yeah, we're going chill zone now. Oh my gosh, can you believe it's already been an hour and a half? I put this on my calendar for 2 hours, and I was like, I don't know, like, we'll see if I end up chatting for that long. And here I am. I was like, oh my gosh. Time flies when you're having fun. That's for sure. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but I still have a few tiles left on Frontier Nav, and it's been like that for a while. Yeah. I'm working on more music. but you're struggling to make a good space for acoustic recordings. Any tips? So I'm not really super well versed in I guess like the mechanics of audio recordings, but I would say, oh gosh, don't think of me as like the end all be all when it comes to like how you should do this, but goodness, I don't know. I've always just went and asked like any of my audio engineer friends, and I guess it's very specific to like, I guess the size of your space, but also what you're recording specifically. Like if it's like voice, if it's like an instrument, if it's multiple instruments, is it multiple voices? So I guess it really depends on like what you're recording and how the characteristics of the space you're in. That would sort of, I guess, influence what sort of preparations you need to do to the room, but also what sort of microphone setup you have. But that's really all I can say. I don't have anything to say past that. Flute specifically, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think I have an answer for you there. Yeah. You're super pumped with the Steam sale. I still have so many games that were gifted to me for the previous Steam sale that I haven't gotten to yet. So I'm not gonna let my desire for more games. You know, I have plenty of games now. I'm exercising restraint because I have plenty of games that have my attention. I don't want to add to any more. Me de-influencing you. If you're short on games and you have the means to buy games, by all means, please do. That is what is best for you and your circumstances. But for me, I'm assessing my situation and knowing how busy I am and how many games I have already that are left unplayed, I'm gonna exercise discipline and not, be tempted. But I don't have these games. Fair, but also it's like, I'll just get them later. Yeah, it's okay. I don't need them. De-influencing you. There's no such thing as short on games. Yeah, me. I am absolutely not short on games. I have like a million bagajillion games I haven't gotten to play yet in my library. So, I am not going to buy any right now. Yeah. Pfft, Rita and her self-control. It's important. That way I can really... focus on the games that I have now and enjoy and appreciate. I still have like Nier. I still have Chrono Trigger. Those still need to get into the calendar at some point, so keep in mind. Hi Rita, welcome back! Thank you! Gosh, what if those games were Xenoblade? Okay, so I think there's nuance to every conversation. Because, see, whereas the Steam Summer Sale would very much be impulsive in my regard, in my case. For me, something like Xenoblade, specifically Xenoblade Genesis, right? I know that it's coming up, and I know it's something I'm going to be working towards. So by the time it comes out and I have to buy it, it's like I've already been working towards it. I've been saving up for it, I'm sure. Things like that. That's not an impulsive choice, so. Whereas if I were to open up the Steam sale page right now, I might be like, oh, I want to get this. I want to get that. Yeah. See, knowing that I have ADHD, the thing is though, I don't think I'm an impulsive shopper. I think my impulsivity shows up in different ways. Still don't want to give myself the chance to be tempted to buy a bunch of games on a whim. You know what I mean? So, yeah. The Steam icon is whispering to you like the Green Goblin mask. I cover my ears. I cover my ears. I go play, I don't know, Let's School. But anyway, was that what we were talking about? I think we were talking about just random things, this and that, right? She get the entire trails, and I forget, is it pronounced East? I forget. We had this conversation, and I already forgot. We had it during one of the trails streams. Because I used to always read it as YS, but it's not. Isn't it East? Okay, Ease. It's close enough. I remember that partially. So I gotta get used to that. Ease. I said ease instead, didn't I? Easy. Easy. No. Ease. Gosh, the way it worked for me is that you pace yourself. You only buy games twice a year. Yeah, so like for me, it's like I'll buy a game if like I know it's been coming up. It's like on my schedule, things like that. Yeah. This is money. Hey, we had to have our SpongeBob reference for the day. Similar pronunciation to yeast. Oh my gosh, you know what I've been really like up to? I've been playing a lot of like Wordscapes. That's been my go-to game. Because I haven't been streaming games, I obviously can't be playing Fire Emblem because I don't want to get ahead on the story and things like that. I've been playing a lot of Let's School. They have that on my Steam Deck. I don't have to sit down on my PC and play it. And then again, there's no story that you all are waiting on. But also, on my phone, again, I've discovered you can turn off shorts on your YouTube. Oh, sorry, as soon as I heard that, I re-downloaded YouTube on my phone and I immediately set my shorts to 0. I set my shorts limit to 0 minutes. And it's been so wonderful. But anyway, being on my phone, I just have my Wordscapes. Yeah. I know, let's go. It's such a win because I love watching video essays. I love watching video essays, whether it's like during, when I was doing an idle side job or cleaning and things like that, maybe cooking or what have you. I loved listening to video essays and having them on my phone made it so easy to pull them up. But I did not like having such easy access to YouTube Shorts because I get distracted very easily. And knowing myself and my tendencies and how my brain works, I'm susceptible to the shorts. I'm susceptible to the shorts feed. And so I've like told people this before, but like if I notice that I'm spending way more time on shorts than I should be, doom scrolling if you will, I literally delete the whole app. I delete the whole YouTube app off my phone until I'm like, okay, you're locked in again. And then I download it. Yeah, you need to do that or else you'll scroll your little life away. Exactly. Yeah. I'll be like sitting there like wasting hours. Man, the ADHD burnout, those moments are really cuckoo crazy. Let me tell ya. And so I recognize it and I'm like, nope, no more, not doing this anymore. I delete the YouTube app off my phone. And then all is well. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I think I told you all this before. One of my friends, she used to be super into gacha games. We both were into Genshin. And she was telling me, like, oh yeah, I had to delete Genshin off of my phone because she recognized that she had, like, I guess she experienced, like, FOMO really badly, or, like, she seemed to have a very, like addictive, like, she fell into the gacha addiction very easily. And she was able to recognize that about herself and was able to do what she needed to do in order to prevent herself from engaging with gacha in an unhealthy way, right? Because it's like, and I think that's really awesome. I think it takes a lot of strength to be able to recognize it about yourself and then commit to making changes that, are healthy for you. So yeah, amazing job for her to be able to recognize that and do what she needs to do to set her boundaries. Yeah, because, for a lot of people, gacha addiction is real. And that's manifested in a lot of really harmful behaviors for people and have affected people's quality of life. So yeah, glad she was able to recognize that about herself. But also, bringing it back to my conversation that we were having, yeah, I was just like, oh gosh, I'm so susceptible to the easy dopamine fix that is YouTube Shorts. So, just gotta get rid of them the easiest way I know how. Yeah. But yeah, I would get rid of it for a little bit, once I kind of got over that itch to, endlessly scroll on YouTube. And then when I was like, okay, I feel like I can get back into using shorts regularly, I'll download it on my phone again, and then I can use YouTube regularly, like regular YouTube videos, but also YouTube shorts. I could also do that regularly. But now I also have that limit as well, so it's really helpful because now I can just either, because you can't scroll. You won't be able to scroll. You can click on a short and watch it, but you won't be able to scroll. So if a friend sends me a short, I'll watch it. Oh, cool. I get to watch this fun little thing, but I'm not sitting there and staying on my phone, which is really cool. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Shorts are basically about making YouTube more like TikTok. Yeah. I know. So, gotta set my boundary. Yeah, it's I like shorts, but so much of the platform and the algorithm, it's so addicting. It's so addicting. So, yeah, for someone like me who was just ooh, shiny things. And sorry, I said shiny, and I'm sure he was like, huh, did somebody call me? But so many sounds, so many colors, so many fun facts and things like that. See, I told you. Anyway, it's I don't know, it's I get very easily distracted by it, so. Is that way on purpose? Yup. And that's something I wanted to talk about in Wonderland Elation. So when I was writing Wonderland Elation, I really wanted to think about some of the themes that we see in Plain Arcadia. And since I was going to write a Sparksy fan song, I wanted to talk about her as a streamer and how, not just parasocialism, but also an unhealthy relationship with the internet or social media or digital media in general is not only affecting viewers, but it's also affecting streamers as well. And both streamers and viewers can negatively impact one another. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I really wanted to channel that as I wrote my lyrics. Yeah. So, I was actually thinking of putting my notes on my Patreon for Wonderland Elation. I just gotta clean them up a bit because they're all so the way that I do my brainstorming is it's a combination of me, let me see, just to kind of give an overall, and then I'll put the actual on my Patreon. But I write down notes about Plain Arcadia. I wrote notes about Sparksy. I wrote notes about what I want the song to be about. I put links for inspo songs, what kind of genre we want to go for, or I'll link OST, the clips of the OST or the trailers, so I can show Riku later, when we have our meetings or whatever. And I talk about story structure, but then I also go into the Honkai Star Rail wiki, and I copy quotes and things like that, and I'll put them in my notes so I can reference them easily when I'm writing lyrics. I'm oh, okay. In fact, one of the quotes that I saw that I also put quotes from Alice in Wonderland. That's why there's a line, because Sparksy has a lot of Alice in Wonderland theming. I was okay, let me look at the story of Alice in Wonderland, and let me look at quotes. So I remember the quote where it was oh, we're all mad here, I'm mad, you're mad. And so that was one of the quotes that I went to an Alice in Wonderland website, and I was going through all of the themes and things of the story and the major quotes, and I was copying down quotes and things like that. And so I was ooh, I'll put that quote. I actually also had a bunch of other quotes that I had, thought of putting in, but then I ended up not including them in the final lyric. But yeah, though, we're all mad here, and the song is an Alice in Wonderland reference. But yeah, I need to reformat it because it has a bunch of different text styles from the Honkai Star Rail Wikipedia for all of the Sparksy quotes. I forgot. I mentioned I wanted to mention my allergies. Sorry. I felt I had to sneeze there for a second. One of the quotes that Sparksy has in the game that I included to a degree in the game. I'm trying to look through all of my notes. Here, in my quote dump section, it was her quote where she says, "Party till the world ends." And I think it ended up in the Can you tell that we sped ran this so much that I forgot what ended up being the real lyric? It's like, why don't you fall in a wonderland, party till the bitter end? So that's how it sort of manifested itself in the lyrics. So, very cool stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I was in my rambling. I am gonna get caught up on the chat now. La la la. Yeah, it's the word dump document. Yep, it's the idea dump document. I almost said idea duck. Okay. The idea dump document. Yes. Very important. Yeah. I still need to get caught up on everyone's Multiverse Vista's entries. Have been so offline. I haven't gone to see them all yet. Do I have any tips for practicing lyric writing? Yes, I do. Gosh, first of all, become very acquainted with rhymezone.com and wordhippo.com. Also, when it comes to rhyming, again, music doesn't have to rhyme to be good, but if your sort of musical sensibilities dictate that you want to rhyme your lyrics in whatever pattern, also considering near rhymes or considering the way that you sing a lyric. Because again, like in a lot of singing styles, the way that you pronounce a song, like for example, in opera, you don't sing opera and pronounce words in English the way that you would speak them in English. So you have to understand that sometimes the way that you say a word can influence how it rhymes with other things. So like you can make words that maybe don't actually rhyme. You can force a rhyme, you know what I mean? There's also near rhymes. Let me see if I have an example. Since I have the document for whatchamacallit, Wonderlandilation. We originally the song was just gonna be called Wonderland, but we were like, we need to add something to it for like SEO, right? Or something like that. So I also made the A lowercase in Wonderlandilation. I thought that was a fun idea because Riku's username has a similar capitalization. So yeah. Anyway, gosh. Let's see. Rhyming Wonderland with the word again, I guess. And the word and Wonderland with end. I don't know if I was necessarily trying to rhyme those two, but that's something there. For example, I guess like if a word has like the I sound in it, maybe does it have the same word ending, like the same consonant ending, but it has like, for example, like or nice, you know what I mean? Depending on how you sing a word, if you put more emphasis on the middle part of it, especially if you're holding out that note, people don't really notice that the endings of the word don't really match, if that makes sense. It's something that I've noticed. What else? Oh my gosh, remember? Sorry, fun little Easter egg? I don't know. Fun fact. Remember when for those who follow me on Twitter, do you remember when I tweeted that a Vsauce video gave me an idea for a song lyric? It was for Wonderlandilation. And it's the specific lyric is in the line, fake truth, real lies, realize we're desensitized. Because I saw a YouTube short of, oh my gosh, shorts of, Michael from Vsauce. Hey Vsauce, Michael here, and he was talking about something like homophones or something. I don't remember if it was the homophone short or the short about palindromes. I just bonked my shelf. What was I gonna say? In the tweet, he's like, real eyes, realize, real lies. And I was like, wow, that's deep. And then I was like, wait, homophones. You're right. And then I was like, ooh, I like that one. I toyed with a couple of other homophones. Let me see if I kept which ones I wanted to use. Darn, I wish I did. But I had a couple of other, I searched up homophones. And I tried including a couple of other ones as options. But I ended up going back to realize. So realize. So yeah, that's an inspiration. I'm telling you, inspiration can really come from anywhere. So don't write down all of your ideas. Okay, in the brainstorming phase, there is no bad idea. You just gotta write down everything, and then from there, you can start picking which ones really, I guess, stand out to you. Welcome back, thank you. Welcome, thank you for the welcome back. Everyone's sort of popping in and saying hi. Thank you. Yes! No, Panama, exactly. I think about that interview with Eminem as well. I know exactly which one you're talking about, where you force a rhyme and you can kind of bend a word or things like that. Yes. Yeah. Another tip that I've talked about before is, I actually discovered the actual technical term for this. Let me see if I can remember it. I'm looking it up. It's basically the idea that you understand in natural speech where we put the stress in words. And there's a specific word. I wrote it down because I saw it in a reading that I had. Start with the letter P. Porosity. Prosody. It's basically like, let me wait for this Merriam-Webster website to load up. It's basically like how words are stressed. Oh, why can I find the study of the structure of poetry and how we like where we place stress and rhythm and how we intonate our regular speech. But I think it's important to understand that in regular speech, because when you go into writing, you don't need to follow it to a T, but because you can use, I don't know how to pronounce it, prosody, you can use it in ways that are different from natural speech to make an emphasis. Does that make sense? Like, generally, I like to be aware of how, I'm using my understanding of my natural speech in my lyrics, because that influences how people listen to it and interpret my lyrics, and how easily people are able to have, I guess it's like the expectation of how words will be used in the song sort of lends itself to the aesthetics, the sort of like how you can aesthetically appreciate the song. Does that make sense? But I think there's a lot of value in using unnatural stress in words or unnatural rhythms in words that are different from a regular speech in order to emphasize something. I'm trying to see if there's a place, because I definitely thought of that before in my music, but I can't think of something off the top of my head. And I've definitely seen it in other music as well. But does that make sense? Yeah. Yes, I was inspired by Vsauce for my lyrics. Isn't that crazy? Like I said, inspiration comes up anywhere. So, yeah. Being a native Portuguese speaker, you use that a lot. You have a ton of words that mean different things based on context and prosody. Yeah, because obviously you could probably still understand me if I were to put the stress of my words on different parts of the words, if that makes sense. But it's awkward to listen to if you're a native English speaker, right? It's sort of like the stress and rhythm and the intonation, while it doesn't have as heavy of a heavy impact on my meaning of my words, for example, as compared to more tonal languages like Mandarin or something. But it feels difficult to listen to. It's hard to I guess take in, if that makes sense. It's harder to follow along. Yeah, the emphasis is on the wrong syllable. Exactly. It's harder to process, if that makes sense. More so for poem writing rather than specifically lyric writing, but it's necessary to decide on a meter for the structure of a poem before you can really get anything written, right? If so, how do you pick one? Well, a lot of the times I'm... Amanda, we missed you, Rita. Love chat pork. Oh my gosh, we were talking about John Pork. now we can't stop talking about John Pork. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Do you guys not know about John Pork? I don't even know how to explain John Pork. It's just like a meme, you know? Anyway, how do I pick a meter? So a lot of times when I'm songwriting, I'm top lining. So I'm working off of an instrumental that already kind of has a structure. So with like most of the songs that I write, I'm kind of almost, I don't want to say limited by, I'm working within the structure that somebody else has sort of set. Obviously, I'm like, okay, well, maybe it'd be better if we like made it half of that or something like, or we lengthened this part. But for the most part, I fit my lyric writing within whatever instrumental I'm provided as a top liner, right? So, yeah, I mean, in terms of structure though, because I basically write poetry before. Well, again, it depends. If I have stronger ideas for the melody, I'll write the melody first and then I'll squeeze in lyrics. But if I have stronger feelings about the lyrics or what sort of message I want to say, I'll write the lyrics first and then I'll figure out ways to make them into a melody. Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, does that answer your question? I think to me, I feel like I've answered the question. But, I mean, in discussion with, like, because Riku I work with very closely, so, like, we've had conversations of, I remember specifically, for Neverfall, we were like, what are we gonna do 4/4 or 6/8? And I was like, you know what? 6/8. I'm feeling 6/8. Because originally, we originally had it in 4/4. Most pop music is in 4/4, or, you know, in some sort of simple meter. But Rico had brought up the idea of changing things up in that regard, and I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, 6/8. Let's do it. No, not 6/7. 6/8. Gosh, more music, more pop music needs to be in, like, compound meter. You're in your cozy corner? Real. After this, I'm gonna finish up my homework and then maybe get in my own cozy corner and play some Let's School. Or no, Xenoblade. I wanted to play X. Any ideas for exercises to try and practice this? Ooh, practice what? Writing, like top lining? Maybe getting an instrumental for a song you don't know. And I specifically say a song you don't know because oftentimes you might be influenced by the original melody of a song you might know. But if you think you won't be too bothered by it, you can, you know, do that. I've seen people do, like, I wrote a verse for, and, you know, they'll write their own verse as if they were a feature for a song. Because you know how, like, songs will have different versions that have, like, you know, different people featuring? You can kind of pretend to do one of those. Yeah. So glad that there's no 6/7 meter. There could be. you never know. You really could make it. Gosh, I haven't seen any, like, odd meters out there. Any irregular meters out there. I forget the official terminology. Like something like 7/8. I'd love to write a song with a funky meter. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Rita's back. Rita's back. Yeah. I really love music. Can you imagine our popular media without especially video games? Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine not even like not just video games or popular media, but like so many significant cultural events without music? We had this conversation earlier about the idea of music and ritual, right? Rituals across various times in our life, right? Various cultural events from life to death. And like think of these like cultural events, right? These rituals that we have, and imagine them without music. and how different they would be, right? Or if they were replaced with either silence or some other form of like creative expression. That's not to say that other forms of creative expression are less important. That's absolutely not the case. I think that all expressions of, dance, visual art, they all have their own significance and importance to our culture, right? Our culture and our experiences. But the way in which they, affect us are very different. So, for example, trying to think of a specific cultural event. You know how like a lot of religious practices use music as a way to induce a heightened state, whether that's like meditation or focus or some sort of spiritual connection or what have you. Imagine that without music. Imagine silence, or imagine a different form of creative expression. It would just be very different. There's so many aspects to music that not only affect us psychologically, emotionally, but music also affects us in physiological ways as well. How music and rhythm can entrain your heartbeat. Something with a fast tempo can make your heart rate go up. You know what I mean? Whereas maybe a song with a slower tempo or aspects of it that are considered more relaxing can, lower your heart rate or regulate your breathing or what have you. So really interesting. Yeah. So, gosh, there's so many aspects to just like the human cultural experience that is so closely tied to music that it's like, he can't do without it. Yeah. Just imagine that SpongeBob meme of him ascending without music. What a sad world. Gosh. Like in so many like games that I've played, like JRPGs or otherwise, like the music enhances the emotional experience. Oh my gosh, I talk about this moment in the anime Snow White with the red hair. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but there was a very significant emotional moment between the two characters, and I was already like tearing up at the things that they were saying to one another. But at a very significant point in the conversation, the orchestra sort of swelled, and it came in with this like violin run, and the music just like swelled and burst into something more, gosh, I guess emotional, for lack of a better word. And that just like, I lost it. Just immediately started like, tears would not stop. So powerful. Yeah. When the final boss theme turns into an orchestral version of the game's main theme, oh yeah. When you hear the hero's motif go from something a little silly, a little goofy, a little unsure at the beginning, and then at the very end for the final boss battle, you get to hear it with like the full orchestra instrumentation, and it's so powerful. It just like, you're like, wow. So much has changed, and it's like, you get to, that it's embodied in how the music has changed. You know what I mean? Yes! Oh, I love the free run OST. I absolutely love that. And I'm not just talking about like the more hyped up tracks like Zoltrak or whatever, but even like their more mundane moments and the pieces that they use. I think it's just a good job of, conveying that feeling of the various themes that they explore in free run, of how like, time is fleeting, and time moves on, and the moments that you spend with your cherished ones are temporary, but they're all, they're still cherished, and they're still valuable, and they still carry on to your future experiences and things like that. Anyway, and it's just so well embodied in the music. Yeah. Good scoring of a soundtrack really enhances whatever media it's attached to. Absolutely. And I love when OSTs are scored to the scene. Oh my gosh. Like, like Genshin lately, oh my gosh. Like Genshin music has always been so wonderful, but ever since they started scoring the music to match what's happening on screen, as opposed to just, using old tracks that they can loop and things like that. Amazing. Amazing. I'm actually rewatching Freerun right now, with my anime night friends. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, time flies so much. I need to go get some homework finished up. But yeah, I wanted the first stream back to just be a chill chatting. Frankly, I was nervous. I'd forgotten how to stream after 3 weeks, so I was like, maybe I'll start with something simple. Like, just chatting. So, woohoo! Getting back into the swing of things. Tomorrow is Deltarune. And we have music, stream. We can talk more. Let's talk more about music then, okay? Let's put a bookmark on the music conversations and let's continue on Wednesday morning if you can make it. If not, you can always, join us for with VODging. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, in the comments if you can't make it live. But yeah! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here. Gosh, I hope you're excited for the future of this channel and all the fun stuff I'll be up to. And again, I want to thank you all for being so supportive of my my content and my music and my musical journey, especially now as I study music and music therapy. So excited. So excited. I'm excited. It's gonna be an exciting time, and I'm just like, wow, I'm so glad to be back. But yeah. Thank you all so much for listening, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Bye! Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. It won't be another 3 weeks. Bye! I was trying to set up a redirect on YouTube and Twitch, but my internet browser is glitching out a little bit. I don't know if I'll be able to end my stream properly, but I'm just gonna go ahead and close my browser and all that jazz. I'm just gonna close everything. And hopefully that fixes everything. But yeah, thanks so much for stopping by. And I'll see you all soon. Oh, it's reloaded. Ah, well, it's okay. It finally loaded, but I'll just go ahead and close it anyway. All right, bye.